Hi, this is Behar, your 5-star insurance agent. Welcome to my channel. Today, we are with one of my major power partners, Moshe Aronov, with Greener Path Retirement. Moshe, welcome to my channel.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
I'm the owner of Behar Insurance. We are a full-service insurance agency located in Boca Raton, Florida, with another office in Orlando area. About 9 people working here in my agency, and we provide all facets of insurance to our clients for their personal needs and also for their commercial needs. That could be their health insurance, car insurance, automobile insurance, homeowners insurance, their boats, yachts, etc., and also insurance protection for their businesses.
Right. Excellent. How many different companies do you work with?
So they are about more than 10 different type of insurances, and overall we represent a little bit more than 440 insurance carriers.
Wow.
So I call us like the Walmart of insurance.
Amazing. Many of you know who already work with Greener Path or who are looking to start working with us is that we are fiduciary, which means we have to do what's right for the client, and we don't have any products to push to our clients or our relationships. We are not beholden to one company, one mutual fund, one money manager. If I'm not mistaken, Albert, you are also the same way. How many insurance companies do you showcase or do you review for a car insurance, for health insurance? How many companies do you work with?
We work very much alike. We are also siding with our clients, not with the insurance companies. And legally, we have to do that as well. We are an independent agency. Independent agencies do not force or promote one single company, one single carrier. For example, for car insurance, we always give our clients 8 different quotes.
Nice.
For homeowners insurance, we provide our clients anywhere from 12 to 19 different quotes based on where the house is. And we discuss with them the strength of each company, differences on the policies. This way, the clients can make their educated decision with the information from us.
Perfect. One thing I do know that here in Florida, I'm new to this state, I'm starting to learn more and more about it, is that home insurance has become a very, very big topic. Can you tell us a little bit about whether you see rates staying the same, going even higher, or can I even say maybe coming down?
Yes, you can say they are coming down, which is a good news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Great.
and it probably will work very much for our clients, your clients, my clients, for everybody. In 2023, July 1st, there was a new legislation passed, and we started seeing the effects of the new legislation this year. And I see homeowners insurance rates coming down, and the policies are becoming richer.
Wow.
That's not only the insurance rates,
Right.
but the policies, what the policy will cover, which feeds into your financial freedom when a catastrophe happens, and there are certain damages that the policy won't cover, that then people will need to take money from their savings or from their investments.
Correct.
Now the policies are becoming richer and the premiums are going less.
Excellent. That's what we all like to hear. Whether you're a client or whether you are a client of Alper, we all want to hear that our policies are getting stronger, what we get in return, but the premiums are coming down, both in home, car, health also, or is it still a little bit...
Health insurance is difficult in terms of premiums. It's very much dependent on the drug prices and also medical service prices. Those rates are not coming down for multiple reasons. We all get 1 year older every year.
True.
So our risk rating changes every year.
Just like in life insurance, which is another thing that we can help you out with. So tell us a little bit more about your team. What areas do you cover? I think you mentioned that you have a lot of representation in South Florida, Orlando you mentioned also. Where else are you able to do business, or is there anything that any particular place that you focus on?
We go with our customers where they go. Our license allows us to do insurance all over the state, everywhere in Florida. Our strengths right now is Tri-County, South Florida, Palm Beach County, Broward County, Miami-Dade. Then we do have a cluster in Orlando area where we have our second office. We have a cluster in Tampa area, and probably the fourth concentrated area we have is Jacksonville area.
It sounds like you guys are growing and growing and growing.
Yes, thankfully we are growing.
Excellent, excellent.
Moshe, we know each other for several years now,
Yes.
and I keep hearing from you about these opportunities, etc. As you meet a lot of insurance agents, I meet a lot of financial advisors, but I realize that you are standing out for multiple different ways that I heard from you, and you are very customer oriented. That's what I realize that I see with our interaction over the years. I always wanted to know why Green Path. What's the name is reflecting?
Fantastic, thank you. Greener Path. So the reason why we have that name is, number one, because we want to make sure that every single person out there has financial freedom. And when they think of freedom, they think of a greener pasture or a greener path to their retirement.
Perfect. One other thing that always caught my eye, and I have never heard from you, but I heard in the market that, oh, if you have X amount of dollars, let's talk. If you don't have X amount of dollars, just keep working and then call me when you save that much money. Is there any minimum that someone can work with you for investments?
That is a great question. And I smile for that because many people have asked me that. Why do I not have a minimum where all these other institutions have either 200,000, 300,000? There's a company on TV nowadays went from 500,000 minimum to 1 million. Why do I keep mine still low? Because I believe that every single person needs to start investing for their future, for their financial freedom. When you're young and you're only 24, 25 years old, and you want to open a basic IRA, Roth or traditional, the max you could put away is $7,000. I still want that person to start their path to that financial freedom. They're not going to be able to do that with me if my minimum is $500,000. So I want to help those young people, the Gen X, the millenniums, start investing, start putting money away. We at Greener Path, we not only talk the talk, I also have hired and we have working with financial advisors that are that age also. Our youngest advisor, he himself just turned 26 years of age. So we have people that speak the language of the Gen Zs, the millenniums. We also invest in that style. We're looking at right now at AI. We don't understand that technology as much as they do. So we have people, we have research, we have the education to speak that language to make sure that that generation is prepared when they have their wedding coming up, when they have their houses to buy, when they have their retirement to think about, their children of the children. We want to make sure that they start young, and we are going to be with them throughout all of those decades and those years. We can't do that if our minimum is 500,000. We cannot do that if our minimum is even 100,000. And just to finish this thing off, some of my best clients started with me when they were only able to invest $50,000. And now they've got a very substantial investment with me, and I've worked with them and their children and some of their other family members. That's why I do not have a minimum.
But not having a minimum, is that keeping people out of certain products because they don't have enough capital to invest on certain products? Or is it possible to buy pretty much everything but in a smaller quantities?
Another great question. When you have more money, you can definitely involve yourself in different investments. So to explain it like this, if you have a small amount, you basically would want to be in the S&P 500. That gives you exposure to all of the companies, but through an index. The more money you have, instead of buying an index, you can then start buying different individual stocks. Then the more money you have, you could buy individual stocks domestically or internationally. You can buy different kind of income positions, either individually or through indexes or mutual funds. Alternative investments also come into play. The more money you have, the more different places you could be involved in to balance out your portfolio. Yes, the more assets, the more money you have to invest, the broader you can be, but the most important is to have a foot or at least a toe in the water to start investing. When you do have the bigger money, as one of those companies out there says you need $1 million, they will offer several money managers who themselves have minimums also. It is a more diversified investment style because once you have $1 million or $3 million, if you're down 5 or even 10%, that's a lot of money. When you have a smaller account and you're down 5 or 10%, you say, it's okay, I will make it up next year when I make another contribution into my retirement account. So everything has a plus or minuses. And again, we offer all the different styles of investing. As you know, I work with a company called LPL Financial. We have over $1.5 trillion in assets, which means we have plenty and plenty of different places to put those assets into. Alternative investments, mutual funds, ETFs, individual stocks, and so on. But none of them will have the LPL name in front of it because we don't have any of our own products to solicit to our clients. We are all fiduciaries.
And retirement planning,
Yes.
is that only stocks and bonds and stuff, or that do you advise or influence or notify your clients about, is there anything else goes into retirement planning, like real estate, for example, or I don't know if crypto goes into your, it's the new buzzword, I don't understand
Right.
much, but the Gen Z is,
Right.
I guess, going with it. Are these also part of your discussions with your clients?
Excellent. Yes. Everything is in discussion. From expenses, that's why we are here today with you, to make sure that we can save our clients as much money as we possibly can. We talk about real estate, which goes up and down, just like the stock market, whether it's a smart idea to put into the portfolio, whether for clients to be investing in it. We talk about crypto, which I don't call it cryptocurrency because it's by far not a currency. It is just a crypto. But we do speak about that also, especially with the current administration becoming more friendlier to that sector. We do have a conversation about it. There are other topics that we have to take into consideration for retirement, which is how long are you going to be living? What is your generations? How are your parents? What kind of longevity do you have in your family? That is a key. When to take out Social Security, Medicare choices. There are many different things that we talk about within retirement planning. So yes, we have to be a little bit knowledgeable about many, many different topics. But do I know everything perfectly? No. That's why I work with my power partners, and that's why I have this station to introduce some of the power people that I work with, some of my partners that help me to help my clients.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. You have a new client, you talk and you bring your partners in, you see the entire picture and help them out. And then does this get done ever again? Or it's just we fixed this and then let it run by itself?
If you could show me one person who never has change in their life, then that's the one person that I never have to review anything with. We always review the portfolios. Throughout the year, we get in touch with clients at least once a year. We want to speak to them about what changes they have, any additions to the family, any kind of transitions that they're going through. Maybe they moved jobs, maybe they had a baby born, maybe unfortunately someone passed away, there might be an inheritance. Do we want to talk a little bit more about maybe they're going to buy a house, maybe they want to sell their house they are in? All of these different transitions happen. Surprises happen also. Nobody can predict or foresee anything. So therefore, we are constantly in touch with our clients to make sure that any things that changed in their lives, we can reflect it in their portfolios, and most importantly, make sure that the roadmap that they're on, the greener path that they are on, will still get them to their retirement and to make sure that they have a financial freedom when they are ready.
So basically a proactive approach to your clients.
Very proactive.
And do you change their portfolios based on their age? Is that something that needs to be looked at?
Many things need to be looked at. Age is definitely one of the biggest objects that we do. Also risk. And risk and age are important, but it's also dependent on the individual. A person who might be of age 60 but has very little saved up for retirement, we might be a little bit more aggressive for that person. because they still have a goal to achieve. A person, same 60-year-old, but might have millions of dollars already. For that person, it's more important about the preservation and keeping up with inflation. So age is important, but there are other factors. Another factor, like I mentioned before, longevity. You might have in your family people living till 90 or 100 years of age. So just because you're 60 doesn't mean you should be in a conservative portfolio. You might be around for another 30, 40, 50 years with all the modern technology that's happening. We need to be a little bit still balanced or a little bit more in a growth and income portfolio. So age alone is not a determining fact. It's one of the factors that we take into consideration. With all the things that are constantly changing within my field, we talked about crypto, we talked about real estate. Tell us some of the things that are changing within your field also, be it in health insurance, car, home insurance, which is very, very important, or anything else that you're also working on, which I know, if I'm not mistaken, you also help people out in Medicare insurance.
That's true. That's true. So I'm a Florida Blue insurance agent for a long time. I think I'm one of their recognized agents, helping people to get proper health insurance coverage. And also I'm able to provide them Medicare insurance coverage, whether it's supplements or advantage plans. Insurance is a fantastic world, the boring, necessary evil. And the boring part in Florida, unfortunately, it's not true. It changes all the time.
All the time.
All the time. But lately, it changes to the better. There are new companies coming into the market. Competition is starting to come in. And with the competition, quality obviously is coming in as well. So those are all good things. For a while, we had some of our friends, they had to lose their jobs, they had to lose their agencies because of the crisis. However, agencies who stayed in the business, we are happily able to help our clients to get better coverages. Insurance is a product that where the only time a consumer gets the product correctly is the time they purchase. And then obviously nobody reads it and they don't need to read it. And then if something happens, they will find out what they have not purchased. So that's where we are coming into the picture, where we advise our customers and we tell them, we explain them the differences on the policies. I'm sure you have heard, I always say, insurance is the only product you cannot buy when you need it.
All the time. I hear that from you all the time.
Yeah.
I also have started to hear from you, because we see each other quite often, one of the things that differentiates you, and I know this because I personally have experienced this, you actually read the policies out there. I know that when I was looking for car insurance, the car insurance that I had, what I thought I had, and then after you read it, was completely different. Can you tell us a couple of experiences that you've had reading policies that made you squirm, laugh, or something else?
It's always fun. It's always fun. I have this weird hobby. I read policies. Statistics tell about 92% of the agents never read a policy in their lives.
92%?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's a volunteer statistic. So I don't know if they were joking or they were telling truth, but it's not fun to read policies, and the policies are written in a way that normal people should not understand. Obviously, that language is different. However, we offer every client with a policy. Once the policy is issued, we offer every client to go over the policy line by line with me, not with anybody else in my company, with me. Ironically, that only very few people took up on that, but I read the policies. You asked me an example. So I was with a hotel client of mine, or at that time it wasn't a client of mine. Somebody recommended me. I went there and we are talking. It's a nice hotel, beautiful hotel in Fort Lauderdale by the sea. So they gave me the policy and they want something cheaper, which we don't know what cheaper means in my agency. We always look the policy quality. We don't look at the number. So I'm looking to their policies. Out of the window, there is a beautiful pool. People are enjoying themselves. And I told the hotel owner, I said, you guys don't have any pool here. And she was a little bit upset, and I don't think sarcasm goes in the business world that much. And she's like, pool there, people are swimming. I said, according to this policy, you have no pool. That was a policy they have been renewing for 8 years.
Wow.
And then we became friends at that time. And then we were looking further into the policy. And the policy was excluding anything that may happen in the bathroom, in the room, in the guest room, inside the bathroom. If any slip and fall from the shower was excluded in the policy. That's a hotel.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So these things happen. One thing with my business, it's very easy and nice. I'm sure it's very similar in your business as well. We don't compete on price.
Right.
The policy is exactly the same premium for the same product, for the same car, same person, for the same house, or for the same business. The policy is exactly the same premium from one carrier, no matter how many different agents take a quote. And if the premium is different, somebody entered something differently. Whether correct or not or whatever, if the premium from two different agents come different, some entry is incorrect.
Yep, and that's exactly how it is in most fields out there. People think they're just going to get away with a cheaper price, but they don't understand what they're compromising, what they're giving up to get that cheaper price. And like you said, insurance is the one thing you can't buy when you need it.
Thank you. That's true. Thank you.